So critics are calling this latest mandate a blow to the private sector and other businesses that are still struggling to recover from the pandemic. So joining us this morning is New York City Councilman Mark Levine, who serves as the chair of the Health Committee. Good morning, Councilman Levine. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Morning, Hazel and Dan. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so for those that don't know, does the City Council actually have to approve this latest mandate before it goes into effect?
Actually, no. The city's health commissioner has this power to issue a commissioner's order. We have very strong public health laws in New York City. So this is sound legally. I'm sure it will be challenged in court, but also the public sector mandates were challenged and they lost repeatedly. I expect that will happen here too.
Right, but that could delay it by a few days, and a few days really matters here because it goes into effect on December 27th. If it's delayed because of lawsuits, it goes into January. We have a new mayor. So what happens then?
This is going to fall on the next mayor, on Eric Adams, mayor-elect, to implement and defend. He's actually out of the country. I think he's back today, so he hasn't offered extensive remarks, but he has said clearly that he wants to follow the science. And so I'm optimistic that he will support this.
Well, let's talk about the timeline. There's been some backlash over the new mandate. You know, critics argue that other mandates were allowed more time for people to get their vaccines, but the private sector only given 3 weeks to comply. Do you think that is really a realistic timeline, especially with it being the busy holiday season?
Well, it's very easy for someone to get a vaccine. We've made it available in every neighborhood, every day of the week. It's free. So that's really not the problem. There are folks who are holding out still, which is disappointing. Only about 10% of adults. And I think that's going to make this easier to implement because in most businesses, the overwhelming number of workers have already been vaccinated. And what we saw in the public sector is there are people who are on the fence, they've delayed, they're not sure, and having that workplace mandate is enough to give them the push to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Most do, and I expect that will happen now again.
So under the new orders, all 5 to 11-year-olds, as we've been talking about this morning, also must receive their first vaccine dose by next Tuesday, and by December 27th, those that are 12 and older must show proof of full vaccination in order to enter things like restaurants and other entertainment venues, which the business owners are saying, hey, that's going to hurt us, and it's going to hurt us from recovering from this pandemic. I want to play some sound and then get your take on it.
I don't know what the exact difference would be of this smaller segment of the population to have this implemented now versus just postponing it just a little bit.
I think it may be a little fast, it may be a little strong, and as usual, it's get the restaurants to be the policemen.
So, you know, as the incoming Manhattan Borough president, right, I'm sure you've spoken to some of these business owners who are saying, hey, you know, it's going to hurt us. So what's your position and what's your advice for them?
Well, I love Andrew Ridgey. He's actually on my Borough President Transition Committee. First, we have to point out that there's a very low vaccination rate among kids. Only about 20% have even gotten their first shot. And actually, that is the age group which has the highest incidence of COVID right now because they're unvaccinated. So we need to protect them. There's been millions of doses already nationwide for young people. It's been enormously safe. So we want them to be protected inside restaurants. But actually, the reason why restaurants are coming roaring back right now is because people feel safe there. You have the comfort of knowing that everyone who's sitting near you is also vaccinated. It's been a great boost to business. And I believe that this will only further benefit the sector so that kids are safe, families are safe. I think this is going to be good for business and, of course, good for the health.
Well, let's talk about Omicron, though. The concern over the community spread of this new variant. It's prompting a lot of New Yorkers to get their booster shots, but those appointments are really hard to come by right now. Are there enough of those booster shots to go around?
This is a problem. There's enough supply nationally, but there's not enough capacity to deliver the shots, particularly in Manhattan, where getting an appointment at a city-run site is very tough. There's none today, tomorrow. I think you have to go several days out. We have to expand the hours, the staffing, and probably the number of venues where we're offering booster shots. As of last week, the last time we had data, only 15% of adults have gotten their boosters. This is going to be one of the best strategies to protect against Omicron. So we really have to expand the number of people with boosters, and that means making it easier to get your booster shot especially in Manhattan.
Yeah, I had to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
get
it's a real issue. So we're gonna talk to the mayor about that. Hopefully, we can get some more of those appointments available and some doses available. In the meantime, Councilman Mark Levine, thank you for being here to talk about all of this morning. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you both.
All right.